And we'll start the recording right now. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Zanotti, and next to me is Gina Schreck. Hey, Gina, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I've got my warm turtleneck on and my big cup of coffee because it's snowing here.
Oh, you're snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing.
And I'm complaining at 40 degrees, so oh well.
Yeah, I know. In Denver, you can't complain. It'll be probably 70 tomorrow, so
That's true.
That's just what we do, and we need the moisture, so it's good. It's all
well,
good.
The beauty about Denver, if people haven't been in Colorado or near the Denver area, you wake up and it rains, it snows, you have a heat storm and an earthquake, maybe all in the same day.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the variety here. I love that. So this is a big week. The tech side of things, especially for all those who are in the e-learning world and technology. This week is the big ASCD Tech Knowledge Conference going on in San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm following a lot of activity and tweets going on there. And so I know most people in the chat room are saying they wish they could be at Tech Knowledge. Yeah, now we have no time to go to conferences, but we'd love to be full-time conference attendees. I love so I know that's going on. There's been, less activity in the social media world. No big Facebook changes. We'll talk about Vine, which is a new tool on Twitter. We'll bring that in and talk about that. And just to say the word once in the beginning of the show, Pinterest is talking about doing a redesign already. So I think that's an interesting thing to look at. What's going on in the world of Rick's favorite place, Pinterest?
Nothing.
Rick, have you got your board up yet?
I have it up. There's nothing. It's very zen. It's just a white screen right now, I think.
I'm telling you.
But it's a place for pictures one day to be.
Yeah, one day to be. It's the future of Pinterest. You're waiting for the final version of Pinterest to roll out.
Right, which has something, I guess. But
exactly.
Hey, Gina, we've got some great guests today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Now, what's cool about our guests today, it's kind of a 2-for-1 because Marty and Misty McPadden, I met them on Twitter. I followed them for a long time on Twitter. Love all their activity. Love the fact that I found out Misty uses an app that we've talked about on the show before, one of my favorite artistic apps called Paper. And she is extremely talented. So my little robots that I draw on paper, I'm not going to say they were put to shame because I am still proud of my drawings. And I've been trying to draw more things in my blog, but Misty is extremely talented with this, and I saw a bunch of her drawings. So that all of a sudden I started digging into more. Then I found out they have this whole Twitter love story that we need to hear about. But let me just tell you a little bit about them because you guys are going to be. I'm very impressed by everything that these guys do. Marty actually he founded PodJam TV, so some cool blogs, lots of cool blogs and videos, and some fun things. You'll have to make sure you look for the outtakes video because I was laughing at that. But Marty is the founder and CEO of PodJam, and he is a professional photographer. He's a videographer, obviously, all the stuff that he's doing on PodJam, a blogger, Apple geek, so we love that as well, and a production supervisor at ESPN, so he knows sound and video. So that made Rick very happy for the past 17 years. Now, through PodJam TV, he shares tips. This is another cool thing, and all of you who are waiting to start blogging, you're going to be inspired because they really do. Marty and Misty share things about things they love. So their blog is about photography and video and travel and all kinds of cool topics. He's a contributor to Huffington Post, The Daily Tech. You can find him on Twitter. I'll put his Twitter name here, Marty McPadden. Misty is an illustrator, which obviously if you see her art, you'll know that. An illustrator. She is also a producer at PodJam TV and has a lot of bloopers on PodJam TV, which I love. And she also loves travel and photography. 10 years experience as a project manager. So these guys, they do so much. She also writes for Huffington Post. Find her on Twitter at MistyGirlPH, which I'm going to have to ask about what the PH stands for, because I've always wondered if that's just a pH balance or not. But I would love to give a big SchreckTeck welcome to Marty and Misty McPadden.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for having us, Rick and Gina.
Hey,
Great
more than
to be with
welcome.
you.
I'm thrilled that you guys are here, and just I guess we just have to jump right in and say, okay, you guys started your blog and PodJam TV. Has it been 2 years ago?
I know, about a
year and a half?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Summer of July in 2011 is when we launched.
Okay, so how did the two of you even come to decide to start PodJam TV together?
Wow. Do
Because
you want to start that story?
at the time.
Yeah, I've been blogging for like 4 years already, as well as Marty. And then, when we had our video talks, we would always talk about the tech stuff that we love to do. And then we said, why don't we, form a blog and share what we love to people, and they might, we might inspire people to blog as well. So that's how it all started.
Yeah, and one quick story there. We both, you mentioned the video. We're both kind of introverts at heart. I think a lot of bloggers are like that, but we recognized at the very beginning that we really needed to do videos. So that's where a lot of the bloopers came from in the beginning, because we weren't very good. So doing something like this was out of the question, 2 years ago. So I think blogging is really, not only are we having fun with it, but it's really helped us come out of our shells, and we've met a lot of great people, including yourselves. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it.
Now, how long did you know each other online via Twitter and blogging before you actually met in person?
About 2 to 3 years prior to meeting in person. I moved to Cincinnati January 2011. About March, we started talking already.
Well, you want to tell them the story?
No, you do.
Well, there's a cute story with that, because we've been following each other for many years, like Misty said. But apparently Misty wanted to get to know me better, and I would never have done this, but thank God she did, because it's worked out well in the end. But he
likes telling this story.
Oh, I love telling the story, because one day she said, "Well, let me give you my phone number so we can text in case Twitter goes down." And I'm thinking,
Twitter never goes down.
Okay, I know Twitter, they have the fail well, but DMs, that never goes down. I go, okay. So that's kind of where it started. And then we, texted back and forth. We even had virtual coffee dates at Starbucks. And we bring our iPads or our iPhones, and we'd be on the phone and having our coffee, and I'd send her coffees through the Starbucks app. And then you can tell the story of how we actually met in person.
Yeah, and then one day I just said, why don't we meet in person? And that was July.
Yeah, but how'd that go?
And then he was like, will you get mad if I visited you? And he was like, no, okay. Then after I think 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I'll be there on Saturday.
And I go, you're serious, right? And we were doing a Skype video call. She got off, 5 minutes later, she came back, had the flights booked, ready to go. Boom. So it's and that's where it started. That was July 2011. That was right around when we were going to launch the blog. So yeah.
And then how long before you guys got married?
We got married just last year, August 7.
Yeah. So a little over a year. Most of our relationship, she was in Cincinnati and I'm in Connecticut. So most of the relationship was long distance. So thank goodness for Skype and FaceTime on Apple and all that good stuff. Technology really came in handy during those times when we were separated.
It was much easier to be together now.
That's so fun. I just love that story. Twitter, bringing people together.
Oh, yeah. And we know a number of people that, have gotten together by Twitter. So it's not in fact we wrote a blog post about it. It's not a dating site by any means, but I mean, it's really
It opens up your
opens up a lot of doors.
chances to meeting more people.
It does. And, Gina and I met on Twitter through a mutual friend, and we have not yet actually met in person.
Still not. And we've
Been doing this
awesome.
2.5 years?
A year, almost 2 years, year and a half.
No, we've been doing over 2 years.
Which is really weird because I've been in San Diego for conferences, and you've been.
We hit at the wrong times. Like she's in San Diego and I'm in another state. It's like, oh
Right.
man. And
So one of these days we'll meet. And then
Yeah,
Rick will go,
you'll
oh
get
my
the chance.
gosh, what have I been doing with this person?
Yeah, and I keep
Yes.
joking that when she meets me, she'll go, I don't really like you.
Yeah.
So
It's the fear that keeps us apart.
that's right. It makes it work. And I always joke that I'm like her second husband, except I can mute her.
Very good.
My husband is very envious of that.
He is, isn't he?
Technology.
I'm going to send him a mute button for Christmas.
Oh, he'll love that.
That is so funny.
So how did the idea of, because there are a lot of people who say, I really would like to start a blog. We have actually several people on my team who keep saying, I need to start my own blog, a personal blog. And the fact that you guys really do incorporate your life, all the things you love, into your blog, was it just something you thought, okay, let's do this on the side, or did you intend to start it as a business?
Well, I mean, we've both been blogging for a number of years before we got together. I think you could tell the story because it's really Misty who really was the inspiration for it and also got us to actually start. So, I mean, because originally we were supposed to launch in September.
Yeah. Marty's a shy type, so I'm the one who was not so shy. So I was like, we tried it first on his site, martymcpadden.com.
I didn't think we were going to get you said, let me show you a couple things. I didn't think we were going to get the attention or be able to resonate, as we did. So we did some experiments. I have my old blog, and she showed me some stuff,
Yeah, and then I said, let's write something that we really like to do, and we put it out there, and people were responding. We were getting a lot of comments, we were getting a lot of shares, and that encouraged us even more. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just put up our own site? It would be much better, so that it won't be like Misty and Marty, but more of just one collaborative blog.
Right,
So-
and that's the big difference. I know Misty. She was one of the founding members of BitRebels.com. A fairly large blog now, and that's a typical blog where it's collaborative in the sense that you have a lot of individual writers and they all have separate bylines. Our approach was, we're going to do a completely collaborative blog where the bylines are going to be podjam.tv, and it's going to be our journey together. Even the way we came up with the name, it was a complete accident. I was looking for, as you know, domain names are hard to come by, at least good ones. And I went to a name generator, and Podjam popped up. The .tv was available, and that it became, and it kind of like Podjam. We're kind of jamming with podcasts, because we want to do video, audio, in addition to writing. So it just kind of fit. We said we'll just develop this brand, and a year and a half later, it kind of fits for us, So.
And now we've evolved into Podjam TV Productions, wherein people also call us to do content for them. I guess we use our blog as sort of, we don't earn money from our blog, but it is kind of our portfolio of what we can do.
Yep.
So it's helping to market other work.
Right,
Yes.
and Gina, just get back to your question. As far as your friends want to start a blog, I think the best piece of advice we can give is just start. A lot of people get caught up in it's got to be perfect. I don't have this right, that right. You can evolve it along the way. We've kind of evolved along the way as well, just in the quality of the content we produce and even the look of the blog. And just learn along the way. It's fun. There's a lot of platforms that are very easy to use. WordPress, generally speaking, you can just go on WordPress.com and don't even need hosting. You can do it free there, or you can use other blogging platforms like Squarespace or whatever. But the key is just starting, and creating content and writing about or producing content what you're passionate about, whatever your interest is.
Yeah, that's also another advice is write or produce something that you love, because you will never have any problems finding a topic if it's something that you love, compared to just, looking at trends and writing about it, but you don't really know much about it. So you'll be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, don't do
writer's block.
Don't do it for the money. My first blog, don't try to pick a niche where you think, okay, this is a popular niche. I can make money with it, because you will not do it for longer than a couple months. It'll get boring. You won't want to do it. Don't worry about the money part. Do it because you love it. And lots of times other opportunities come up, like for us. Like Misty said, we don't earn money from the blog per se, but we have clients because of people seeing us create content. We create content for other people. So
That's great.
Yeah, that's really great. And I loved your 3 tips, which you just gave us. Really, don't be afraid to just start. Just do it and start, and then perfect as you go. Another one you talked about in one of your blog posts of lessons learned was don't be afraid to experiment. Have you found that you've really changed some things or come up with new things as you've gone along?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. We knew right off the bat that we wanted to be multimedia. We both have, backgrounds in television. We're both writers. In fact, Misty, I think, Misty's an illustrator, an artist, and writer. So we come from creative backgrounds. So, we want to mix all that stuff up. We were a little nervous doing the video. We were not sure how we're going to come across, But
I actually hated it.
We hated it in the beginning, but I told Misty, you know what? We just got to do this and get used to it. And along the way, we've gotten better at it, and to the point now we're doing a live weekly Google Plus Hangout
every Sunday,
8:30 p.m. Eastern, called PodJam TV Live. In fact, it resumes this coming Sunday. And we'll, about a half hour, we'll have guests on. And we would never have thought of doing that 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. We said, you got to be kidding me. Us doing this live show?
Yeah, isn't that great? Because it really just evolves and becomes a lot of fun.
Yeah. And again, if you're passionate about, what you're talking about, you'll do it for free. I mean, it won't seem like work. I mean, you want to do it,
Yeah.
And the audience will find you. I mean, it seems like when you're passionate about it, people are attracted to that.
Right. Yeah. And I can't underestimate also is if people want to get in blogging and they want to resonate, make sure that you're involved in social networking, because that's a big secret for our success as well, is that we have pretty good Twitter followings and we're active on Facebook, and we've done that. I mean, I was on Twitter since September 2007. Misty, I think, just about as long. So we got in very early. But we met a lot of people, and if you want to blog, I mean, that's a huge help as far as getting the word out.
Yeah, that is true. I think on anything, anytime you're writing a blog, and anybody in business, your social media is your channel to distribute that. So I think that's very true on that. And I think one thing that you brought up, which is a really interesting point, because we did a study of why don't people do video, because video is so on trend. People love video. They love watching it. And I feel like you build a better rapport with people through video.
Yes.
People were saying, it's the technical stuff that's involved. And I said, I don't think so. I think people, number one, we hate hearing our own voices. And then we finally get used to hearing our own voices, and we're like, all right, I sound terrible. I sound nasally. That's just how I sound. Then all of a sudden we start on video, and we're like, ah!
I know Gina and both you, Gina, and you, Rick, both obviously do video. How did you get through everyone's had to start. How did you get through it?
And Gina's a natural. She can be on video, and I think she's totally and completely natural.
Yeah, I love it.
I had to force myself on video. It's like, do I really want to see myself on video? And it took a while to just get used to, and that's just the way it is, and that's who I am, and just put you on. And I tell people, don't be afraid. It's you will always perceive yourself differently from what other people do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I found also is that I think people kind of live through you. Because I think there's a lot of people out there that really want, wouldn't that be fun to get out there and do video if I wasn't so afraid. And then they see your videos like, yeah, that's great. Because we get a lot of great support and comments of people like, that was great. It was just what I needed, this and that. It's like, well, you could do the same thing, and addressing the technical part, it's not technical because you just open the laptop and there's the webcam and you're on the air.
In fact, right now it's becoming easier and easier to do these kind of podcasts, and a lot of people think it's too expensive.
Right.
They're really afraid of having to invest a lot of money, and of course I'm the worst person to ask for this because I'm a little bit of a geek technophile. So we spent over probably 15,000 on all this equipment. But
Rick, I'm with you.
I tell people you don't need more than probably a couple $100.
Exactly.
Get a mic, get a webcam, you're ready to go.
Exactly.
Right.
And-
And you could, and you know what? If it's something that you're really passionate about and you really love doing it, you could always kind of build up slowly. You can build
Exactly.
up the equipment. You can learn and get more technical and make it, you know, concentrate on the quality. But it doesn't take much.
No,
to get started.
and you know, and Rick has talked me into buying a really great microphone, but I'm not using it.
I try so hard to get her to use that mic.
On my computer, and I go, it's got a mic built in, it's got a camera built in, just turn it on and go. So I'm terrible. I don't use an earplug, I don't use anything. I just turn on my camera, and I tell people, you know, one way to get over the fear of seeing yourself on video is, would you be afraid to sit across the table from someone and chat about whatever?
Exactly.
Because that's what they're watching. They're watching you sitting across from them, talking about things you're passionate about. Just tell yourself that's all they're seeing. And if you don't like the way you look on video, realize that's the way you look when you're sitting across from them.
That's
too.
true.
Oh, exactly. You know, another tip I would throw out there is if you're afraid to kind of get started, if you can find a partner. Now, obviously, Misty and I have done it from the beginning, and we're here in the same location, which is probably the easiest setup for people that are non-technical. But even using Skype or using some type of, or even Google Hangouts or whatever that puts multiple people on the screen, if you can find a partner to kind of bounce things off of and create a show that way, it makes it a little less intimidating. You know, and that
Doing
might
it
be a good way to
yourself.
and have more of a conversation type of video. Because I think a lot of people that get started kind of are very stiff and like, I am Marty, I'm doing this, you know, and they're robotic, you know, instead of letting their personality show through. And I think being able to have that conversation,
Makes it much easier.
it just makes it a little easier to kind of, okay, I'm yourself, I'm relaxed, ready to go, you know.
What I love is when people first start out and they make a joke and all of a sudden they go, and they're just so afraid to just laugh. It's I can't
I
do
mean,
that.
like Gina said, like, you know, like you're across the table from somebody.
Right.
Well, that's how you should approach it. You know, you're just having this conversation.
Now,
You
now,
know,
Gina,
don't worry so much.
Gina has one attribute that a lot of people don't have who get into this. She was in sales and marketing for a long time.
True. And then
So she's got that natural communication ability. She's used to it. She's a public speaker, constantly in front of people.
Speaking world, from conferences and speaking in front of audiences. So to me, it was a very. And now I have to admit, though, the first time I had to be videotaped and watch it, I still hated seeing myself on video. So I just think, you know, you just have to get over the fact that we'll never really like the way we look on video, or I don't know, maybe there are people who love it.
Yeah, I guess during conferences you don't have to worry about seeing yourself because you're doing that live presentation.
Yeah.
No, when I turn on and see the giant iMac screen and my face on there, that freaks me out still. Like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at my own nose. It's just weird. So, yeah, I just think you just have to talk and don't worry about video, what's being played to people. I'm a huge fan already of PodJam TV. And I want to make sure I just put in the chat room, did you say it's Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
Yes, 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Sunday.
Our hashtag is PTV Live.
PTV Live. If people want it, we just got a new domain. If people just want to go to ptvlive.com, they can go right to the page, or podjam.tv/live. Either way will get you to the page, and it's embedded right on that page, and has a nice Twitter chat client down there, and you can see, you know, what's going on with the PTV Live hashtag, and hopefully we get some conversation. I know this coming week we have Michelle Megan from Florida, who's a virtual assistant. We're going to be talking about the world of virtual assistants. So, but more every Sunday we'll have a different guest and different topic.
Okay, so tell me about furry sketches, because this is a new
That's Misty's.
Yeah, that's my baby. Since I've been doing some studies and I really like to draw animals. I like to draw cartoon type or even the realistic ones. And I think you mentioned it, the paper app. I love using the paper app. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer. Is it live?
It's live
already?
right now,
Okay.
furrysketches.com.
Yeah, we're offering it to people. If you want us to do a custom-made design portrait of your pet, just send us a picture, fill out the information there, and then after 3 to 5 days, we'll send you digital art of your
my
pet
gosh.
portrait.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need to run and get my little of my life.
She's gonna send you the puppy in a box.
Well, that'll be different.
That'd be nice.
We might not get the puppy back. We might,
I have been petless for 2 years, and my husband got me the cutest little.
Aw.
I look at him and it makes me pain.
It's a chiweenie, right? That's what you call them?
It is a Chiweenie, which sounds like a wimpy dog, but he's so cute. He looks like a little dachshund, but
He's a Doberman Pinscher at heart, right?
just so cute.
And the drawings, you can actually create T-shirts or cards that you can send out to your friends.
Oh,
Yeah, this is kind of the start, but we'll be expanding that. And I know Misty has a tremendous art background and illustration background, so this is kind of our first foray into that. And you love drawing, and we said, well, why don't we? She's done several for friends.
Mm-hmm. And also clients.
And clients, yeah.
Even when I was still in the Philippines, I had clients from the U.S. I would do their Twitter backgrounds. Whenever they wanted an illustration, I would do their Twitter backgrounds, and I would just send it to them, and get paid
that's
for
fun.
it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
why not turn it into a business, right?
Absolutely. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, but then I read somewhere you have another venture that you're something about doing good or gratitude, or now I can't remember, but it was something really cool.
One little thing you can do.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. There's another project we're working on. It's going to be another site. It's going to be called onelittlethingyoukando.com. And this is we've had this idea since the summer, and it's kind of gotten pushed around a little bit with everything else we're doing. But essentially the idea is, what we want to do is post a short post, maybe less than 50 words, possibly with some pictures or video to explain it. But basically just kind of life hacks.
A place where people can go to and see tips on one little thing you can do to improve your daily life.
And so we want to be able to crowdsource that. Originally, we were supposed to launch back in the fall, but things got pushed around. And so we're hoping, Furry Sketches kind of took over, but we're hoping to launch that sometime this year, hopefully.
That's cool. One little thing you can do?
Yeah,
Yes.
onelittlethingyoukando.com. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Right now it's just a placeholder, but yeah, we want to definitely, we got a lot of positive feedback from people we told about it, so we definitely have to get it in the works. Just finding time to do it.
When I read that, I thought that sounded like a really cool site, but then when I saw Furry Sketches, I was like, oh,
yeah, ideas will pop in. It's funny that Gina, we talking about blogging, people want to get into it. This all these ideas started because we started PodJam, and because we came together and we started getting the collective creative juices flowing. And once you start, you'd be amazed at where it can lead you. I mean, we've been led a lot of different directions. In fact, we just went to have first kind of working with a major brand. We worked with Sony at CES. We went to our first CES in Las Vegas just a few weeks ago. We did a thing with Verizon, so we're trying to get in on the business side. We're trying to get in with brands and working with them. But that would never have happened unless we went out there and started PodJam TV. So folks that want to do it for fun or want to also do it for business, you got to start, and you got to just get out there and do it.
And it's amazing. It just really becomes organic.
Yes.
Yep.
It grows out of itself.
Yep.
it does,
Absolutely.
and you meet different people, and I just think it expands. Ideas start popping up, and I'm like that. I'm always thinking of, I should start. I have 2 apps that one for almost 2 years now has been percolating that I need to get.
Yeah.
You got to get it done.
I know.
Gina feeds mayo to tuna.
I laid out a whole business plan on it. I've designed the whole thing, laid out, created a video to explain it to a developer on what my ideas are, and then I came up against the wall of, okay, now you have to put down probably $100,000
Oh, wow.
and I went, oh wow. Get back to you on that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's the money part is always the tough part, you know.
Okay.
But I mean, there are ways that you can get. I mean, again, blogging is a great way to get started because it's very little money, if anything, and you can kind of grow it from there. And that's another thing is people that want to get into this, patience is a key as well, and consistency, and you just got to keep plugging away at it, and
Because you'll never know who will get onto your blog. Like like what you were saying earlier, you had these 2 apps that you want to develop. What if you wrote about it as gist of it, and a venture capitalist suddenly like sees your blog and like, I want to finance that.
That's true. That's true. And also you have services like Indiegogo and other ones where it's amazing how many. Yeah, is it called Quickstart or Kickstart, right?
A Kickstarter.
Yep. And they do generate a lot of money sometimes, and it's a great way. If you have an idea, don't think for a moment your idea is not worth anything. People,
it's getting out there, as Misty said, because people get caught up with how many followers they have on Twitter or fans on Facebook. It's not really the number; it's the quality. You just need the right person to see what you got, And, one thing that, we found that's been very gratifying is being involved in social networking. It's not even your first degree network. It's more like your second, third, and fourth degree networks. It kind of goes out like a spider web.
Yep.
And we've met so many people that way, and it kind of curves back on itself. And you get connections, and you find out this person's involved with that, or they can help you with this, or you can help them. And it's pretty amazing what's going on right now.
One of the things I find funny is I've been to trade shows, and people come up to me and go, "We love your shows."
There you go.
Wait a minute. Somebody watches the shows? Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys are funny.
And it just kind of leaves you going, wow, don't you have anything better to do? And no.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. It's nice to be recognized, Like we went to this restaurant. I just had to tell you the story.
That's a good story.
We were gonna have dinner before watching a movie, and then the server came to us and said, "Marty, Misty." It's like, what?
That's great.
This was local,
Yeah.
I go, what? It was a restaurant we like to go to, and they had a Twitter account. They followed us, and it's like, oh, you guys know who we are.
Oh, you just got married last August, right? And we were like, what?
That's amazing. So you had a local fan you didn't even know about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a lot of fun.
That is fun. And I think one of your things about having patience, usually when people start a blog, they're thinking nobody's listening. I get maybe one comment or so, but you just have to stay with it and do it like you said, for the love of it.
And that's why when you do it, do something, write about or create content about something you really love, because it's not going to be a chore. You're going to want to do it. You're going to want to share. And even if it's just one person or 2 people that you strike up a conversation with, you don't know where that could lead. Plus, it's just great to be able to talk about your passion,
I always say, I think it's an obligation we have, number one, to share our knowledge and leave that legacy of information that we have and passions that we have, or for our family. I look at it and go, don't do it for money. Do it for the legacy of learning, the legacy of family, knowing what you were passionate about. And if you do it that way, then it'll grow and you'll get better. I mean, each time you learn something, you get a little better. And years ago, I wrote a couple books that I wrote just because I had so many stories. I have 4 kids, so I always say I just have children so that I can have stories. And I wrote down some of the funny stories and thought, no one will ever buy this, but it'll be a good legacy. I've sold a ton of those books.
See,
there you go. Yeah. Very true.
I think all of us should blog for the sake of legacy.
Oh, Gina, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think everyone. I always advise everyone. Get your name, get your domain. And you have this It's a lot of people are afraid because I understand privacy concerns or this one or that, or most of it's just fear of unknown. But I look at it as a huge opportunity. You have an opportunity to put your best foot forward. To really kind of put your personal branding is a big hot topic now, and for a good reason. It's important, and that's how you not only personally but business wise or whatever. I mean, if you're looking for a job in the corporate world, resume is not going to cut it. You have an opportunity to present your best case. Can you be creative? Can you create? That's what people are looking for. So why don't you use that opportunity? You control the message. Use an opportunity.
Today's kids need to blog. Look who! Oh, you guys can't see, but little Spencer just came. He just woke up from his nap and came over to my chair. Oh,
he's cute. He looks more like a little Adobe almost.
He looks like he has a dachshund face.
The dachshund face, yep.
And then he's just a bundle of cuteness. But okay, so let's talk before we have to go. What are some, because you guys are Apple enthusiasts, do you have any favorite gadgets and tools that you love?
Oh my goodness, we love our iPhone 5s
And our iPads.
and our iPads. Yes, you know,
And do you have
and also I use it. In fact, when we were at CES and we went to New Media Expo, I brought my MacBook Air, which was great because it's powerful enough. I'm able to run Final Cut on it. I was able to do videos on site, very small. But yeah, we're big iPhone, iPad. We love it. We're entrenched in the Apple universe.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
have the iPad Mini or the regular?
you know what? It's funny you mentioned the iPad Mini. We were going to give iPad Minis to each other for Christmas.
Yep.
But knowing us, and we're so locked into the Apple universe, we're gambling that they're going to come out with a new version with a Retina display. Which
Oh.
means,
Probably,
high
they
definition
probably
display.
will, because you know what they were doing, getting rid of old inventory and changing things a little bit. In fact, a friend of mine and one of actually Gina's clients too, Yuri from Russia. Now here's how funny things are through the internet and through products. I know Yuri because we work on one of his products for e-learning. And he needed somebody to help with his marketing and social media presence. Like, well, you got to talk to Gina, and so they've been working. He loves Gina. He thinks. By the way, he loves you. He thinks you're great.
Good.
And he's just spent a weekend with us. So I mean,
nice.
all through social media products, and it's really a lot of fun. I learned a ton about about Russian culture from him, because
nice.
he's from Yoshkar Ola, Russia, which is about 500 miles east of Moscow, and it's just fascinating, how the social media can really bring everyone together in so many different ways.
Yeah,
I mean,
we wouldn't have.
We wouldn't have met. We're working with on one of our other projects with a developer friend of ours in Australia.
Yeah.
And we would never be able to do that or know who he is if it wasn't for technology
It's great.
and
It's
social
great.
media and all the connectivity.
So my
tools that we
theory is,
have.
if we can get rid of all the politicians and just let people communicate with each other, we'd have a really nice
Exactly.
world.
Rick, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's what.
We'll keep them going.
Yeah, don't get me going.
Politics. Okay, so obviously iPad. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's an interesting prediction. I think you're probably right on with that one.
I'll tell you. I don't know if you held the. I mean, it's a beautiful device. So we're and if it doesn't come out soon, we might
Just get
it.
it.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I saw it yesterday. I got sidetracked, but Yuri happened to buy it yesterday. We took him to the Apple store.
wow.
He bought one because he wanted to have a GPS. I said, "Don't buy a GPS." He goes, "Well, I buy an iPad Mini instead," and he was thrilled with that little device.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I know they'll be giving one away too at Technology. So
And I actually think it's a
wow.
better form factor for reading, if you like to read, versus the iPad, which is a little heavy.
Yeah, I agree.
After a while, your hands kind of, your finger numbs up, depending how you hold it.
Yeah, you can hold it with one hand. The Mini, it's
Yep.
nice and thin. It's light. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with you.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Gina, we're going to have to wrap it up pretty soon. And just so you know, just want to make a quick announcement. We've got another new show coming up in about 45 minutes. This is with Adele O'Mahony from England. She's going to be doing the show from England, and it's called Conscious Creation. It's all about creating your own life, creating good things happening. It's kind of a little bit of law of attraction, but it's really more where science meets magic. So it should be a fun show.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And that's in 45 minutes.
That's in 45 minutes. At 9:30, we're going to do our first premiere episode. That'll be...
Wow, you guys are busy.
We're busy. Yep, it'll be fun.
And
gonna
then
watch
I
that.
actually get to work now. So, I go to work and Rick keeps producing shows. So that's always fun.
Yeah, so we're going to have 4, and then, of course, we have to go to work after that. So that's what nights are for.
That's what nights are for. That's what I said last night.
Exactly.
Well, you guys, this has been such a treat having you on and getting to know you. I can't wait to go check out Furry Sketches. Actually, Spencer was just telling me he wants to go see how I can put his picture on a shirt for my husband. So.
Well, it was great. Thank you, Gina
Thank
and
you.
Rick, for having us. It was a blast, and we really enjoyed it.
I think you need to come back
you
on
so
again.
much.
Oh, you guys, anytime you leave us a call, and we'll be happy to
Great,
come on.
that'll be fun,
anytime.
because we've only touched the surface.
Absolutely.
There's so much to talk about, so little time. Well, thank you so much. We will
thank
be
you.
looking for your show Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Google Hangouts, and then also make sure to connect with them on Twitter at Marty McPadden and at Misty Girl PH, which I never asked you. What is the PH?
Oh, PH is really more Philippines. PH.
Ah,
That's so obvious, and that see, we're really smart, aren't we? Couldn't figure that one out.
No, it's- okay.
I'm trying to figure that out. Going, okay, pH. Let's see, pH balance. Maybe it's part of your business. Okay.
Gina, don't feel bad because when I first met Misty,
The
I had
same
no
thing.
idea what that was either. So
It's crazy.
Yeah, again, check out podjam.tv.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff there.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. If you're watching in the chat room, thanks for being there. And if you are watching the recordings, please subscribe. We appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.